We're at the Black Hills Roundup rodeo grounds in Belle Fourche with sculpture artist Tony Chytka. You know, Tony, the Black Hills Roundup rodeo champions receive a special award now, something different than just buckles. Tell us about it.
Well, about 4 years ago, the committee had talked about maybe doing something a little different, and they had come up with the idea that we use the design of the logo and create a bronze that should be presented to each champion each year. And the last performance they're given out during the rodeo, and it just depicts a cowboy on a bronc, kind of the Western way of life, and kind of what depicts the area around here.
Each piece handmade?
Cast in the foundry. I do my own casting, and they're done with the lost wax method. The bronze is poured in molds and then cooled and shell broken off and finished up, sandblasting, welding, that kind of thing, and done through the lost wax process.
And Tony, each award is labeled for that event.
Yeah, they come with a signature bronze plaque plate, and they have the champions what event. And then also the unique thing this year in the bronze itself, it's going to be July 4th, 2026, which is kind of unique, being that it's the 250th anniversary of the country too.
You know, Tony, this is a special place for you. You have a lot of ties to the Black Hills Roundup.
Oh yeah, I kind of started out here in college, rode here as a contestant, had our college rodeo here a couple times, and then also competed during the 4th of July rodeo a number of years. So it goes a long way back.
Tony, talk about the transition from back when you were a competitor into the artist part.
Well, I was always drawn different things, horses and bucking horses, animals, that type of thing when I was a kid. And we had a rodeo arena in our pasture right along the highway, and then also having 3 older brothers, it just kind of came natural that started doing the rodeos. And I liked the action and tried to put those into my pieces, and it just developed out of that, going into school, and kept working at it, and each piece got a little better and started to notice more things, and tried to break things down. When you look at something, you kind of don't just look at the overall, you kind of break it down, look at different things, and really like the action and the detail.
You know, Tony, at the Casey Tibbs South Dakota Rodeo Center in Fort Pierre, the outdoor grounds feature your life-size bronze monuments honoring legendary local champions like Billy Ettbauer and Clint Johnson. Take us through how that came to be there at Fort Pierre with your involvement.
Well, I worked with that organization back in the early 70s when they were just beginning. My first art show was with Jim Sayre in the Capitol building during the legislature when they approved that in the early 70s. And as time went on, and they decided that they wanted to build a building, and they asked if I'd be interested, and I said I sure would. And so they each year, a couple years, then we'd come up with a new piece, or we'd do the casting, and then we'd start another project and do the second one, then the third one. Then also inside the building is a life-size Maddie Newcomb trick riding, standing over our horse on a dead run, and she's standing up over her saddle with her arms out. And Maddie Newcomb was a long-time trick rider from the Sturgis area, and was quite a legend in these parts.
Tony, tell us about your prominent and permanent Western bronze works at the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame in Colorado Springs.
I've got the pieces out in the garden area, some of the different events. One of Marvin Garrett in the bareback riding, Charlie Sampson in the bull riding, and then I've also got the team roper piece of Jake Barnes and of Cooper. Also, there's a 3-foot rendition of Lane Frost on Red Rocks, and that happened after he had passed, after his accident.
You know, you're also involved in the NFR every year in Las Vegas.
I did some awards during the contract personnel banquet that first Wednesday night. Started out with the Man in the Can by Coors, and been doing that award since '95. So I'll do a Rodeo Announce of the Year award, which is the Clem McSpadden with Wrangler, and 2 Remuda awards with the PRCA, which this last year before Belle Fourche had won that award for Remuda for having the best bucket stock. And the 5th one I do is the Donita Barnes Lifetime Achievement Award, which is the most recent one.
You know, Tony, rodeo's a great community with a lot of friends.
Yeah, it kind of keeps you out there, and you're always welcome no matter where you're at, and you always know somebody.
Well, Tony, we really appreciate you taking time to visit.
I appreciate you giving me the time too, to kind of tell about my wares.